Hey, this is Troy Ericson from copywriting.org, and I'm back today with yet another exciting interview with somebody who I've known for probably a couple years now. And I
Mm.
didn't even know until recently that she is really a student of the whole copywriting industry and a lot of cool people from a long time ago and a lot of cool people from today. So we're going to talk about it as well as what she does and how she can help and some interesting things about her. So I'd like to welcome Maria Gudelis.
Thank you, Troy. I'm so excited to be here. Woo!
I love that. A little bit of a yell there. I think you're the first person I've interviewed that has done that. I love it. So, Maria, have you always been this excited, or like, how did you get into the whole like copywriting and online marketing industry?
Oh my God. Well, it goes back, like I would say Jason Fladlin is the main guy that helped me. And we actually did joint ventures together and we grew our companies together way back in the Warrior Forum days. But I would say, yes, I am always this excited because I love this stuff. I love all things marketing, and how I got into it predates even Jason, because I would say I was opening up I think it was a Los Angeles Times magazine, no, newspaper. That was back before, internet took over and there's still newspapers. So I'm aging myself here. And and I opened up the LA Times newspaper one Saturday morning, having my coffee, because I was working full time for a big consulting firm. And I saw this full page ad from Robert Allen, who's world famous bookseller, #1 bookseller, and multiple streams of income. And the almost half of the page, imagine this, Troy, half of the page of the newspaper, the whole first half of that full page ad was big, bold font saying, "My big mouth can make you $1 million." I'm like,
That's
what's
pretty
that all
cool.
about? Yes. And so, of course, they were doing the seminar business model. So attend my free seminar to find out. I'm like, ooh, I'm interested. So I did. We went to this seminar. My ex-husband at the time, we're divorced now, but we went, and it was like, then the upsell, right? $5,000 to attend this, marketing boot camp and real estate investing boot camp. And I was interested in both. So I suppose that's how I first got started into it. And I literally, a year later, I quit my job, and said sayonara to that. And I'm going to do this whole online marketing thing. And I loved the aspect of copywriting and how words can turn into dollars for yourself and for your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And right before this, you showed me something really cool, a really
Yeah.
old school book. So you mentioned
Yeah.
Jason, who's kind of gotten a lot of publicity in the last year or so, but you're also mentioning, people from a long time ago. So who are some of your, favorite writers,
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah, I collect vintage ads and books about marketing or mindset from eBay, believe it or not. And this is a 1925 leather-bound edition of a book by Robert Collier. The Collier Letters is a famous kind of marketing must-have if you're in copywriting to buy, and it's personally signed. I don't know if you can see that. It's personally signed by Robert Collier, and it's so cool. And so, yeah, I guess I love reading the greats. I have the My Life in Scientific Advertising as well, and I write about how Claude Hopkins changed the beer industry by showcasing how it was made behind the scenes. And I got this too because I can't, do this interview without talking about Dan Kennedy. He's contributed to me making millions, no doubt. So is Jason Fladlin, first of all. But Dan Kennedy, this book is called Making Them Believe. And it's like how one of America's legendary rogues marketed the goat testicles solution and made millions. So we can learn so much from the past, right? So that's why I have that. I used to teach copywriting and marketing in general. And I used to pull up an old ad from, I think, Ford Mustangs. I used to have Ford Mustangs. And I would show this ad and say, look how they're talking about the benefits, not the features, in this full page, like 1960s ad in the newspaper. Then I have it framed actually as well.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear because not a lot of people are even aware of some of
Yeah.
these older books that have gems in them. And it sounds like you collect them, which is really
Yeah.
amazing. So, you write a lot of forms of copy, pretty much every form imaginable. And, you're using this for like wellness and like life coaches and
Yeah.
kind of like the personal development industry in a way. So like, what are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've learned from reading these really old pieces of copy that apply to today? What are some of the lessons?
I think the biggest lessons, let's pick three. You're making me think here. One is for sure sell on the feeling, because people buy through feelings. The second one, and I think this relates to a lot of the personal development work investments that I've done, because I'm certified by the Life Coach School, so I can use Brooke Castillo's thought model, is your identity. Like if you can help your clients and your clients' customers also switch their identity from where they are today to where they want to be, and they might not even know they need that switch, right? And they need to go from scarcity Sally to abundant Sally, or they need to go from broke. I think Joe does this, Joe Wilder, broke Joe to woke Joe. Like that's really helpful. And then three, I think what a lot of people get wrong, especially when the big brands and some of the bigger e-com brands that come to me, or even startup e-com brands. Like I've helped one company with 50,000 working capital. They started a brand new e-com brand. And then they, in a year and a half, they sold that brand for over $1 million. And one of the things that I helped them with that was big is just behind the scenes stuff. And I'd say I learned that from Claude Hopkins, how he changed the whole, beer industry, showing behind the scenes how beer's made and the hops and the stainless steel stuff. And I'm like, well, and this is, everyone's teaching this now, but this was like 5-6 years ago. And I said, like, dude, just go outside in your backyard. They just paid $10,000 for this crazy advertising agency to build this really cool video for a Facebook video ad for them about it's called Tornado Shakers. I don't know if you remember that protein shaker bottle, but I helped them go from zero to like $10,000 in sales a day. And the thing was dramatic demonstration. So I just told them, go outside and just take your simple iPhone, go on your picnic table. And one's my nephew, but these are two guys who are 22 years old in third year college. And they're like, every dollar is important to them, right? Because they used all their money to invest. But I just said, just film the tornado shaker bottle being used, because it has this little whirly thing at the bottom. Just put water and your protein powder in and make it colored, so it's dramatic. So it was orange, I think, and just shoot it for 15 seconds. And that's what Jared and Steve did. And then the rest is history. That video ad alone, and I was running their Facebook ads too and training them, just helped build their company to get sold for over $1 million.
Yeah, that's the power of demonstration right there. I absolutely love it. And that's the same reason why, if you've seen me lately on a short form video, I'm going out on the street.
I have. Love it. Love it. But, I love the one with the teacher was the best, when you help the teacher make money. It's like,
thank you. I appreciate it. So that's an incredible, little set of wins you just shared there. So can you talk a little bit more about what, the whole process looks like for you when you're working with a new client? Are you just giving them scripts to film ads with and running the ads, or you writing all their emails? Just a little overview of what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. I would say I'm more that holistic strategy person to also execution, because I have those both skill sets working in huge software companies in the past where we had to implement software for, Fortune 500 companies. I learned project management, execution, but then now I know strategy from, studying all the greats and always having a coach. Like I'm in your program now, which is amazing. So I would say, working with me, I kind of go from tip to tail of what a client needs, and it's customized. So it's not boilerplate. All right, we're just going to take this challenge template. I'm sort of known for challenges. I'm like, Jason calls me the OG, the original gangsta of running challenges. I had 25,000 people run through my paid challenges back in the day. And that's how I actually made my first million online. But what I do is really customize it to them. And we work on, okay, do we need to do a short video ad? Okay, here's a script you can use. And I even help them, like some who are now experts now and can teach about video. They were so scared to get on video. So I'm like, okay, just download BigView, BIGVU, BigView as an app, and then put the script in BigView and just say it and read it as a teleprompter. And then over time you get better and better, so you don't need a teleprompter anymore. And then I help them all the way from the back end. It's for like email strategy. That's why I was attracted to you and what you have, because I thought that is what's missing right now in the whole strategy of what's going on. We can teach so many people how to acquire clients, but are people really talking about how to retain the clients you already have, the list you already have, and mine that for gold? And that's missing with you've adapted. And that's why I'm getting certified in email deliverability. Can I talk? It's important to, especially with the economy and recession, they say is coming. It's important you work so hard to get that lead. You work so hard to get that customer. So why the heck are you ignoring them on the back end? So I really help individuals with that and look at, hey, you just did this launch. You just made 50,000 in 30 days. Did you know you could double you could have doubled your sales if you have a 15% open rate. That should be at least 30. Come on now, let's go. You know?
Yeah, that's always a great pitch, that's for sure. I said as well, and it's just showing people like how much they're leaving on the table, and
Yeah.
it's really cool what you're doing, because it's not just emails, it's also ads, and like the creativity that you just showed, like with the blender was amazing alone.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would give to somebody who's watching and maybe is looking up to you and wants to, they're saying, hey, like, that's really cool, I want to do that. Like, what advice would you give that person?
Well, don't give up. That's my first piece of advice. Always keep trying, always keep testing. If you want to do what I do, or even just start with one piece of it, right? Like I would say my piece I first started with is probably like sales pages, building a list, and your offer, like making sure the offer is good. So I would say, try different things, see what lights you up. That's the biggest advice I can say. Like, don't just do it for the money. And I know that's like blasé and stuff, but seriously, you won't be happy. Like I've made millions, but I wasn't happy doing some things that I didn't really like, for online marketing. So find what lights you up. Even if it's less money, you're going to wake up, happy every morning and go to bed satisfied every night. So to get started, for copywriting, I actually used to watch infomercials, especially the mega churches, right? Because like I also get uplifted when I listen to TD Jakes or Joel Osteen and stuff, right? And I'm Christian. My born Catholic, my dad's passed away now, but my mom and dad are staunch Roman Catholics, like no meat on Fridays in our house. Like, that's a Roman Catholic tradition, all that stuff. No shopping on Sundays. I try to do something with my mom on Sunday. Oh no, Maria, no shopping. She's Lithuanian. So I try to imitate her Lithuanian accent. But yeah, just get better. Like if it's infomercials or like church leaders are the best at selling. I'm just going to say it. On the top cover of Time magazine about 10 years ago, maybe more longer than that, there was a huge front page article about Joel Osteen saying how the mega churches are hiring MBAs in marketing to grow their brand. And I was brilliant. I'm like, okay, well, I love listening to him. So maybe now I should start writing out some of the stuff he's doing when he's doing his call to action to sell their CD set. Back then it was the CD set. Okay. So TD Jakes is brilliant at rhythm and cadence and voice inflection. So I sometimes help my clients with how they speak on videos or sales letters, and even advise them sometimes, go hire a voice coach, because you probably could double your sales by just changing your voice inflections. Just follow what some people are doing that you like and resonate to, and write out on paper. There's a scientific evidence that when you write it out on paper, you'll remember it more. And you should be hungry enough. Back in the day when I was doing this, this was between 12 midnight and 2 a.m. Right? If I wanted to learn something that I didn't know, I would hire someone on, I think it was freelancer.com or one of those sites. Someone, I think he lived in, I think it was Russia or somewhere. And I'd pay him like $25 an hour for 2 hours just to teach me stuff about, I think at that time is copywriting with SEO in it. Cause it was hot back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, to do Facebook SEO, to SEO optimize Facebook pages. So you got to be hungry for it. But that's the biggest thing is write out, like find sales pages that sold you and then write it out. Because practice will help you ingrain at a subconscious level. So it starts becoming, I think, what was it, Kevin Trudeau, who was a great direct response marketer, by the way. Kevin Trudeau said it once that then you have unconscious competency. If you can get to that level of unconscious competency, which I see that you're at, by the way, too, because when you say you can write emails in 15 minutes or something, or some of your people who are in your coaches in your program, I'm like, oh, that's good. How do you do that? Because it takes me an hour still sometimes to write a really good email.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And there's a lot of gems in what you just said right there in terms of just noticing what's around you and writing it down, because I can't agree more with that. Yeah. And obviously that shows that you're a professional. So on that note, if somebody is like, wow, this is like really interesting, whether it's ads, emails, strategy, etc., where should they go to contact you and talk to you about services? Yeah,
there's two ways. One, probably the easiest to remember, my brand is I Am Possible, because I believe, all things are possible through Christ the Lord. and so IamPossibleNow.com. They can sign up for a case study. I have one of my clients made $33,000 in 18 days. So that's IamPossibleNow.com. And otherwise, you can find me on Facebook, Maria Gudelis, or my site, mariagudelis.com. And that's spelled Gudelis.com. And by the way, I need to update my website. I really don't use that as my business card anymore. So
as long as people can contact you, I'll also link
yes.
this in the description just so people can
Thank
find
you.
it. So Maria, once again, thank you. There's a lot of cool, very interesting, extremely unique things you mentioned. So thank you for sharing those.
Thank you, Troy.
To anybody listening, I'm Troy from copywriting.org. Check it out if you haven't yet. It's a really cool site, and hope to see everybody on the next interview.